Welcome to Pocket Women Lockpicking and Lock Sport. Continuing on with the 573504 Mortise lock. It is the Lock Up Shop sliding door deadlock from Lockwood. Pre-2001. So the process we are up to now is making the key. We have core shimmed our lock and found out what pins are in it. Springs are looking good. So the next stage I do, well, there's two. One before I got the depth keys and one after I got the depth keys, so I'll go through both in case you don't have depth keys yourself. So what are depth keys? These are keys with little numbers on them that match your keyhole. And these keys are what give you the depth that the pins go into, so you know what your bidding is. So to find out the bidding of this lock, the first thing I do is I grab all of these pins, I load them into the chamber. There we go, first one's in, second one's in, and then I'll grab my depth keys and I go through methodically, starting at 0, which is no cuts. So we know that these are deeper in than that, because look how deep they are. So we go in with number 1, putting your finger on there so the pins don't fly out, and holding your finger on the bottom so that that key blade stays flat in there. If you let that drop down, you will have a dodgy reading on your pins. Make sure that is flat. Your blade is flat. Now, they're still sticking up, so we know it's not a 1. Go to the 2, still sticking up, go to the 3. Okay, it's looking like something's going on there. Like one of them is down low, one of them is down a little bit high. So the front one looks like a 3, the second one looks like a 4. So you put your finger on it, feel it. See, this one's a bit dodgy because a locky has shaved down the face. So go to your highest cut. So the highest one would be a 3. Start with your 3s. Put that back so I don't lose them. So what I do then, if you don't have depth keys, I go through, and if you just happen to have a pinning kit that has all the depths of all the key pins in them, 0 to 9 for Lockwoods. These are brand new, they'll have no wearing on them. I will measure them with the calipers and I will get my height of the pin, know how high they are, and then I'll measure the key pin in there, and I'll go through that methodically. The next thing I'll do is, I've got these, so I will go through these after I've got the bidding of the thing, which is 34989. If I'm not sure of one because someone's shaved the top of the plug down, go to the highest cut. And then what I will do is I will get the core that I'm working with and I will pin that up to that bidding, not with the pins that I got out of the lock, but with brand new pins, because they will give me the most accurate reading. I can then take those pins out and then put the original pins in and make any minor adjustments to the key that's needed to fit those original pins. But always go with the new key pins so that it minimises you being out. So one thing to get your spacing is you get your blank key, you get your plug, make sure it's pushed all the way into the shoulder. There's your shoulder, all the way in. You either get a marking pen and you go down there and you mark those, or if you're fortunate enough to be given a little duva like this, you go in there and give that a little love tap and it will mark each one. So I will do this in a holder. Like this. So this is a Lockwood 570 oval that I have turned into a plug holder. Just cut the bottom off. Create a flat edge because the top's flat. Fold that flat, cut that off. So now I've got a plug holder. So I put that in there and then I can test the pins. Will they go past or not? So I put that in there, make sure the shoulder's up, give that a little tap, and there's my spacing. So what I do then is put in the lowest key pin. So with this one it's a 3, well it's called the highest, lowest, one of the two. The highest key pin, which is a 2 and a 3, and I will put that in the chamber and that will stand out, will stand up, and I will make that where I start cutting all my cuts to. So I will go through and I will file each cut. I usually count 3 strokes, 2 or 3 strokes, and then I will check my depth on that number 3. Next I'll go through and cut another 3 or 4 strokes. Always do the same amount of strokes on each, and I'll check my depth. When I get down to close on a really shallow cut like a 3, I will do my shoulders. So I would do the angles of the shoulders, and then I'll end up with something like this. So this is the key for this lock. It's not finished yet, so I wanted to show you how I'm going to finish this off. So this is how I've been doing it. So that was my high cut 3, so I did it a little bit and then I did my shoulders, do my angles. Now these shoulders on these Lockwood keys are 80 degrees. So there's your 90 degrees, there's your 80 degrees. If you're not sure, grab a key, grab one of your own working keys. Look at the angle on your depth keys. Go to a deep cut and go, okay, am I getting that angle right on those shoulders. If you put your key in and it's getting stuck, you try and pull it out and it's getting stuck, adjust your shoulders. Your shoulder angles aren't angled enough. So always keep adjusting. So every few strokes, adjust your shoulders. Shoulders have to come down just as deep as you think. So what you're aiming for is your key pin. You can keep checking. Check your shoulders, check your depth. Grab your key pin. Does it fit? That angle on the key pin, does that match the angle that it's got to sit in? Does that channel that it's sitting in there, is there enough room? Do I have enough room on this side and this side, or is it sitting up a bit? If it's sitting up a bit, increase that shoulder. Sitting up a bit on that side, increase that shoulder. So you just go along. Use whatever you've got to measure with. When I started, all I had was key pins to measure things with. So now we are up to this part. Where are we? There we are. So let's bring it in close. And it is messy as. So what you need to do, use a microfiber cloth. These microfiber cloths are really good because they catch all of these shavings. So this is where I'm up to. So I've got my plug. I've got all my new key pins in that I'm doing my measurements by. I put my key in. It's going in nice. Put your finger on there because it goes in. Flick it all out. Now, as you can see, I've still got 3 that are high. So I just want to show you how I'm going to get those down. The one in the middle is the 8 cut. The one on each side is the 2 9 cuts. So I'm going to work the 8 cut first. I'm going to stop working on the 9s, just work on the 8 cut. Because you can't go lower on your 8 cut. So it only needs a little bit. And if you can't see, get yourself some magnifiers. Couple of strokes that way, and then do your shoulder. Couple of strokes on your shoulder. Because the thing is, you need to widen out that base. Because that's where the key pin's nose got to sit, and it's got to sit in the shoulders. So a couple of cuts, do your shoulder. Then what I do is I take it out, give it a wipe. You don't want a heap of key pin dust, key dust in everything, because that's just not nice. Stay there. So we check it. Now if you go in and you push that all the way in and it goes down, and then you pull it out a fraction because you want to test how width the base of that cut is. So if you push it all the way in and it's high, and you pull your key out just a fraction and it goes low or it goes high, push it in, goes low, you know that you need to do your shoulders the really base of that shoulder near that valley, at the end of that valley, needs to be done. But we've aced it. That 8 is done. So let's do the 9s. Don't look at the lock lap, it's messy. Use your lines on your key to keep yourself square and straight. So I use this line across here to make sure that my key is level so that I'm not cutting stuff on an angle. Okay, the 2 9s, that's my 8, these are my 9s. Couple that way, do the shoulder. Where I'm doing the shoulder most is I'm putting a lot of pressure at that base of the shoulder. And if you've got a fold like mine, it will make some cuts into that base. So that's why you start off gentle, do your shoulders, it's made some cuts, and then clean it off, flatten it off. So what you've done to one, do to the other, because they're both 9s. Flatten it off. Only do a little bit at a time. I'm using gentle pressure. Wipe it on the microfiber cloth. Gentle pressure. Put your finger on it so you don't lose everything. Push it in. Now if you don't have one of these holders, same deal. Just put your finger on the bottom. Make sure that blade is in there nice. And then you don't have to turn it. You can look and see. And you can feel. You can feel it. It's still just those two are just a nudge up. So we just give them a little bit of a tickle. Line up your blade. Real gentle at this stage, because you don't have much to go. Just a couple of strokes. Take it out, wipe it. Finger on it. Place it in. Have a look. So this you can tell it won't turn. It's okay, you can still feel it. A little bit each. Okay. And unless you do a lot of these, you are not going to be doing this quickly. This is not a quick process. This is little by little, gentle, slowly as it goes. You do not want to be overcutting. You cannot put the brass back if you go too deep. You go too deep on one of your pins, you need to change your bitting, or you need to get a new blank and start again. And that's called burning a blank. And we don't like going through our blanks. So just gentle. Because you'd be surprised at how much a file does take off. And I've got a very fine file scored out of garage sale. A lot of files are a lot more chunky. Okay, so test it. Pull it out a bit. Okay, see how one's gone down? And that's at the shear line. So that tells you this shoulder going at that angle is the right one. Tells you that this shoulder going at that angle needs a bit off it, but it shows you that that shoulder is at the right depth at the base of it. So this one here, pushed all the way in, it's against this shoulder. It's pretty good. Pull it out a fraction, it's raised up. So it means this shoulder needs some off it. And since we're so close, we're only going to work the shoulders at the moment. So I would say that shoulder was good, that shoulder needed taken off, that side. On this one, that shoulder was good, this shoulder needed taken off. Because I can't actually get close enough to the key because my headgear, I've got magnifiers on, but I can't use them because they keep hitting the camera. So I'm actually doing this blind, which isn't good. So we go around nicely that side, but we don't that side. So still a little bit to go. Pull it out a bit. That one goes in nicely. That shoulder's good, so it needs the right shoulder. The other one, needs the left shoulder. See how that goes. Almost. So feel how the key goes in and out. If that's nice and smooth, you've got your shoulders. I think my shoulders are done. Now I'm just going to do a little bit. Yeah, that goes, but it does catch it a bit. I'm just going to do a fraction on the depth. See a little lump on that shoulder, let's take that off. Remember, slowly, gentle, not a whole lot of pressure on the file, otherwise you'll take off too much. Now we go in. And we're good. Still think they need a fraction off. I'll try and get in a bit closer so I can actually see what I'm doing. those shoulders now I'm in close. Just a fraction off, gentle, gentle. Okay. Clean up your burrs. So that you've been getting you stuck in the lock. Clean off your key. Is it going nice? Your shoulder's good. It's not getting caught. And we're going around nice. That's your key cut. So for this lock, that's the bitting. So from this cut you can then go, okay, now I know what the key looks like. I can hand file myself another key that's a lot neater, and or don't. This is a working key. Let's put it in the lock, put it to the test. That will be the next video. Thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the series on the vintage Lockwood 504 Mortise lock. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay legal. Temptation is everywhere.